I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, Riverbend students and staff. This is Principal Schaefer. Today is Monday, November the 16th. Hey, over the last couple weeks, I have been meeting with several parents and guardians and family members and people in our community talking about our return to school plans. And I want to talk specifically to students this morning and give you lots of information so you can be a part of that decision. Right now, and until Friday, November the 20th, there's a survey that's open for families. We had a survey back in the summer, back in July. This is a new survey specifically for your preference for the second semester that starts on January 21st. And parents or guardians would click whether they would want you to attend 100% distance learning, just like we are now, or transition to a new model, a hybrid model. And what I want to do this morning is I want to take some time. Our announcements will be a little bit longer than normal, but I want you to hear from me what returning to the building would look like. For those of you that choose 100% distance learning, your schedule would remain the same. Just like you have since September, you would learn every day from home. There's always pros and cons to different things that we do. I know sometimes it's frustrating. There's a technology glitch or you need additional help and it's hard to get that. There's also some positives too. So personally, I love the flexibility to stay at home, to sit on a couch, or to, take my dog out for a walk for a little bit or grab a snack whenever I want. There's definitely advantages, but I also recognize that there are challenges too with 100% distance learning. I do believe though that we have grown and we've learned a lot since September. So the instruction that's occurred and the activities back in September to now, we are doing some new and creative things. So this morning, I want to talk to you about what it will look like if you do return to the building. And I bring up this slide. This was sent in the summer. As a reminder, this year, 100% is different. We're living in a global pandemic. Hopefully, this will be a once-in-a-lifetime experience that you've gone through. When it comes to my vision for a middle school and your teachers, what they envision for a middle school, we want middle school to be a fun, exciting, engaging atmosphere where you are with your friends, you're doing all kinds of activities together, with your classmates. The challenge is, in a pandemic and the current situation right now, school will look completely different. And I'm going to tell you about that in a second. Our goal through all of this is to keep you safe and healthy during this time. So let's talk about school. Transportation. I know some of you walk to school or some of you will catch a ride, but if you do ride a bus, you have to wear a mask the entire time. There is reduced capacity, so a typical bus can hold up to about 70 students. With the reduced capacity, we're looking at closer to between 13 and 26. If you are on the bus with a sibling, you can sit next to your sibling. Outside of that, you are spaced out on the bus. All of transportation routes are available in parent view, and in a typical year, if you wanted to go home with a friend, you could get a bus pass. There are no longer bus passes that would be available. In a typical year, when you would arrive at school, although our doors officially open at 8, if you remember last year, we started opening up at 7:30. We had things like, the library was open. We even served hot chocolate in the library. In the morning before school officially started at 8:30, you had a lot of independence. There were grade level areas that you could go, but you could also go to the library. If you really needed to meet with a teacher and you had a pass, you could go meet with the teacher. You could go to the cafeteria and eat breakfast any morning. And then you all had a locker. And for about 12 minutes every morning, you had time to organize your locker, talk to your friends. It's really just such a great social time. That's what I want. That's what your teachers want. Unfortunately, in our hybrid model, with all the procedures and health mitigation strategies, it will look different. So it starts by early in the morning, starting around 5:30 in the morning. Families will receive an email or text message with an LCPS symptom checker questionnaire. This is required every single day that you come to the building. When you get to the building, if your mom or your dad or a family member over 18 has not filled that out, you are not allowed to enter the building until that is complete. We will take your temperature, and then you would report directly to your first or fifth block. You will not be assigned a locker. Again, it's not because we don't want to. This is just the procedures that we have to follow this year. Transitions in between class. In a typical year, you would have between, most transitions are 5 minutes. We do have that 10-minute extended break between first and second block. We also had breakfast after the bell. And then I listed here student independent. So a typical transition, unlike elementary school for some of you sixth graders, it's a very social time. So you are meeting up with your friends, you're talking about what's going on, and it's really just a great downtime that you would have. If you need to use the restroom, you go use the restroom. Under the new hybrid model, for those that would choose that, we'll stagger dismissals, meaning that everyone would not transition at the same time. There could be grade levels or even courses that move differently throughout the building. You will be required to stay 6 feet away from individuals. At all times when you're in the building, on the bus, you have to wear a mask. And we do have directional patterns. We've always had some kind of directional patterns. One thing that will be different is restrooms will be closed during transitional times. If you need to use the restroom, you have to wait until class time has started. That's a common practice that schools that are doing a hybrid model are using right now. Lunch in a typical year, lunch is 30 minutes. We want to give you as much freedom as possible. For 6th and 7th grade, we really start the year off with some assigned seats just to get you into the routine. But by this point in the year, everyone has free seating. When it's nice, we go outside to the outback area. We have picnic tables, we do recess. At times we've allowed groups to eat in the courtyard, or you have a lot of freedom during lunch. Under the new hybrid model, you will be given an assigned seat. I put a picture up here. This is from another middle school in Loudoun that is set up right now. You won't eat at tables, you will eat at a desk. And you will also do some hand washing. There's hand sanitizer available too. But just looking at this picture, I'm a very visual person. Lunch will look very different than it typically does. And then classes. So you have a choice: 100% distance learning, just like we are now, or this hybrid. There's really 3 groups that I'm looking at the top right here. So you have group 1 that would be assigned to come into the building on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then you have another group 2, that would be assigned to come in at the end of the week on Thursday and Friday. So what that means is as the teacher is instructing, they're instructing not just 2 groups, but they're instructing 3 groups at the same time. So let's pretend that your class had 30 students in your class, and half of those students chose distance learning. So they would be group 3. They would be at home on the computer. The other half is broken up into 2 groups. So let's say today is, we'll pretend today is Tuesday. So if today is Tuesday, that doesn't mean that all the hybrid kids are in class. It means that only half of the hybrid kids. So of your 15 remaining, you might have 7 kids that are in the building, and then 8 kids that are at home that would be coming in on Thursday and Friday. So I know that's confusing, but what that means is about 75 to maybe 80% of students in your classes will be at home during that time. So what that means is the teacher will be instructing just like they are right now. You will use Google Meet, you'll use Schoology. Lessons will look very similar. There will not be a different lesson plan for students that are in the building. We're limited on, hands activities and things that we can do. Whatever students can do at home is what you will be doing in the building. Instruction will be continuous, meaning that the teacher will not have, a special lesson for that hybrid group on Tuesday and not do that with other kids later in the week. Everything is continuous every single day. You do have to wear a face mask throughout the entire school day. And if there's a student who is refusing to do that, or if there's any issues with the face mask, that would be something that we would deny access to the building, because this is such a health risk time right now. We do want to encourage you to carry water bottles. We have some new water fountains that have the water bottle filling stations like we had in the 7th grade house. So we now have those in 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then a couple other places in the building, like down by the gym and the cafeteria. You also, because you don't have a locker, you'll carry your backpack throughout the entire day. Most of our instruments will be stored up near the music rooms. This is a couple pictures here from the Academies of Loudoun. So a couple students have started there. The reason I want to show you this is I want to, again, stress that if you are in the hybrid model, you're not coming to school doing a bunch of hands-on interactive activities that kids at home would not have the opportunity to do. Everyone is doing the exact same thing. So you can see here, these students are looking at their screen, they're working with the teacher will be on the screen through Google Meet, just like you are now. One thing that is a little different at the Academies of Loudoun, they have like a cubby system for their backpacks. We don't have that. Actually, no middle or high school outside of the academies have that. So your backpack would just be with you, by your seat. I do want to mention this extracurricular activity. So it does not matter what you choose. If you choose 100% distance learning or hybrid, you all have access to extracurricular activities. We will be planning, and we are in the process of planning, some great grade level events, especially for our 8th graders. We want this to be a special year for you where you have opportunities to get together in person. We are expanding our clubs into the 2nd semester. Transportation is not provided for that. So even if you're a hybrid student and you're in the building, we are not running activity buses this year. There's no middle or high school that are running activity buses like we would typically do. And I want to stress this again. If you do continue with the distance learning model like we're doing right now, you still have access to participate in all these different activities. And for me, like, these are activities that are very social that I want you to be a part of, because that social aspect is a huge part of middle school. Again, your parents are required to fill out this survey, and I need your help as students to help walk your parents through this survey. Don't just rely on them to do it. If they don't do it, they're going to get phone calls from the school until they do it. It's so important that you help them. And I do believe that as a 6th, 7th, or 8th grader, you should be sitting down with your parent and you should be doing this together. This should be a mutual decision about what you want to do along with your parents. Again, that survey will be open until this Friday. I think it closes at 8 o'clock at night. If you have any questions about that, you can ask a teacher. You can reach out to your dean, your counselor. You can always reach out to me. But we want to make sure that you work with your mom or your dad or family member or guardian to complete that survey so that we know your plans for the 2nd semester. Again, today is Monday, November 16th. Have a great day.